All right, buckle up everyone, because today we are diving deep, deep, deep into Carissa Broadbent's new book,
Oh, yes.
The Songbird and the Heart of Stone.
Here we go.
So this is the first book in her Shadowborn duet.
Right.
And if you know Broadbent, then you know this is set in the Crowns of Nyaxia world.
Yep.
So we've got a bunch of stuff from Goodreads to talk about, like the book description, and we've got some early reviews.
Ooh, juicy.
Juicy.
I love the early reviews.
Yeah, so we're going to unpack all of that today.
That's fun. It's like we get to be like the first ones to really like dig in.
I know, it's so exciting.
Yeah.
So this book is not just like a standalone story
Right.
that she just sort of like plopped into this world.
No.
This is like
expanding this
it.
world we've already seen.
Yeah.
And like diving deeper into these dynamics
Yes.
between like
Vampires?
the vampires and the gods and all those like forces of light and darkness that we saw hints of before.
Yeah, and the Goodreads description.
Uh-huh.
It really sets us up
Oh, yeah.
for like a wild ride.
Buckle up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our main character,
Okay.
Mische, she's a vampire,
Okay.
but she was forcibly turned.
Ooh, that's rough.
Yeah. Not a fun way
Not ideal.
to start off your immortal life.
Yeah.
And you know, that really seems like what Broadbent is trying to do,
Yeah, what do you think?
is explore,
What's the impact of that?
yeah, like
somebody.
what is the impact of this like drastic unwanted change?
Like, how do you reconcile who you were?
Right. Like, how do you reconcile your former beliefs and identity
Yeah.
with this existence that you didn't even choose?
Yeah, and I feel like that's something a lot of us can relate to
Totally.
on some level.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Even if we haven't been turned into vampires.
Right.
Hopefully not.
Well, you never know.
Yeah, who knows what's out there?
So as if that wasn't bad enough,
Oh, there's more.
like being turned into a vampire,
Yeah.
Mische is sentenced to death
Oh, no.
for killing the vampire prince who turned her.
Oh, wow.
Talk about a messy situation.
Yikes.
But then she's saved from this fate
Okay.
by Asar, who's the prince of the Shadowborn.
You okay?
And they're tasked with this mission
Uh-huh.
to go to the Underworld
Oh, wow.
and resurrect the god of death.
So we've got forbidden love, we've got dangerous missions,
High stakes.
divine betrayal.
Oh my god.
Like, these are classic Broadbent elements. Like,
Classic.
but what I'm really interested in is
Yeah.
what is this shift in focus?
Yeah.
Because her previous Nightborn duet
Yes.
that was steeped in political intrigue,
Yeah.
but
This feels different.
this one feels like we're going to explore themes of religion and faith,
Yes.
particularly within like the context of
Vampires and gods.
vampires and gods.
So interesting.
Yeah.
We also get this glimpse of the world
Mhm.
because the Goodreads blurb mentions beautiful case art and a detailed map.
Oh, I love when they have maps.
Right. It just makes you feel like you're really there.
Like you could go there.
Yeah. And some of the reviewers have compared it to
Okay.
like ACOTAR meets Dante's Inferno.
That's an interesting combo. I
Yeah.
like it.
What an interesting combo.
Yeah, I'm into it.
So it's not just about like the world and how it looks.
Right.
It's about so much more.
Like this underworld journey.
Yeah.
It's giving me very much Dante's Inferno vibes. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna descend into like the darkest corners of this world.
Oh yeah.
And maybe even like the character souls, Like this journey could be a metaphor for like facing our own inner demons and like grappling with those like difficult truths
Yeah.
about ourselves.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the characters.
Let's get into it.
Because we know from previous books
Uh-huh.
that Mische, she used to be like this sunny, optimistic character.
Right.
But the reviews,
Yeah, what are they saying?
they're saying that she is going through something much darker this time.
Ooh, much darker.
It feels like this transformation,
Right.
it stripped her
Yeah.
of more than just like her mortality.
Mhm.
She's lost her faith.
Oh, wow.
She's lost the love that she once cherished.
It's like we're meeting a broken Mische.
Yeah, like almost extinguished.
Almost extinguished.
Like her death sentence. It's not just physical.
Right.
It's a reflection of her internal turmoil.
It really makes you wonder, like, can she find redemption in this new existence?
Yeah.
Or is she destined to succumb to the darkness?
Oh,
Big questions.
big question.
Yeah.
And then there's Asar, who one reviewer
Okay.
brilliantly dubbed
Yes.
the mysterious Necromancer Shadow Daddy Prince.
Oh, I love that.
Right.
It's so good.
What an amazing
forget.
description.
Yeah.
So what do you make of a character like that?
Well, first of all, necromancy is like taboo in this world.
Oh, right.
So he's a prince.
Yeah.
Burdened by his lineage and like ostracized for his magic.
Oh, that's got to be tough.
It's a lot. It's a lot to carry.
So like this internal conflict is definitely going to play a big role
for sure
in his interactions with Mische.
Absolutely.
Especially as they embark on this mission to resurrect the god of death.
It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bumpy ride.
So speaking of their relationship.
Yes, the relationship.
The reviews on the romance are, they're a bit mixed.
Mixed bag.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people found it underdeveloped.
Okay.
While others are praising the slow burn and the yearning.
Okay. Interesting.
What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, knowing how Broadbent usually handles romance in her books, right?
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how she navigates that in this case.
Yeah.
Given Mische's emotional turmoil and Asar's like kind of reserved nature, you know? I mean, she usually crafts these romances that are like so intertwined with the characters' journeys and like the overarching plot. So it'll be interesting to see how she handles it here with Mische's baggage.
Yeah, and also like Mische is on a mission from her sun god to betray Asar. Like, talk about a moral dilemma.
That's intense.
Yeah, she's got, like, she's loyal to the god that she once worshipped.
Yeah.
But then she's got these feelings for this shattered prince who saved her.
Right, and it's not just like romantic betrayal here.
Right.
This is like, she has to reevaluate everything she thought she knew about her god and her purpose. Like this betrayal, it becomes like a catalyst for her to be like, okay, I need to reclaim my agency.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to define my own path.
Right.
Regardless of what the gods say.
It's like she's on two journeys.
I like that.
One through the underworld.
Yeah.
And then one through like her own beliefs.
Yeah, right, her own internal landscape.
Yes, exactly.
And the reviews are saying that Broadbent really doesn't shy away from exploring the darker aspects of Mistress's relationship with her sun god.
Oh, so like we're talking about themes of like religious manipulation and abuse of power.
Yeah, that adds like a whole other layer of complexity to her struggle for freedom.
Some reviewers are saying that was like more compelling than the romance.
Really?
Yeah, and it makes you think about all the power dynamics and like the manipulation.
Yeah, for sure.
That can happen within systems of faith and authority.
It's a tough one.
It is.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool that Broadbent is like weaving these themes into this fantasy romance.
I think it's a bold move.
It is.
But I think it could really resonate with a lot of readers.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
Because like fantasy can be a way to explore these real world issues in a way that feels safe and engaging.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
So it's like you get to think about these things without it being too in your face.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And we also have to talk about these intense scenes that are happening.
Yeah.
Like in the underworld.
Like they're going all in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Broadbent's not holding back with the emotional impact.
I mean, think about what the underworld represents.
Yeah.
Like symbolically, in a lot of mythologies, it's like a place of reckoning.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
You face your fears.
Yeah, you confront your deepest fears and like the consequences of your choices.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah, it really aligns with this book's whole exploration of redemption and betrayal and that struggle between light and dark.
So we've got to talk about Luce. Asar's like loyal companion.
Yes.
She's a skeleton dog.
I love it.
So unique.
It's so cute.
I know, and it's like she represents like this glimmer of warmth and humor.
Right.
In all the darkness.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of light.
Yeah, and it's a good reminder that even in like the bleakest circumstances, that loyalty and love and even just like a little bit of quirky charm can prevail.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've talked about like the world.
Yeah.
And the characters and the emotional depth.
The intensity.
But there is one thing.
Uh-oh, what is it?
That keeps popping up in these reviews.
Okay.
Pacing.
Oh, pacing.
Yeah. Some readers found it
slow,
okay, repetitive, and lacking in action.
Okay.
What do you make of that?
I mean,
especially for readers who are like new to Broadbent.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I think it's important to remember that like everyone has their own preferences.
Right?
You know, some people really like that intricate world building.
Yes.
And the character-driven narratives, but other people...
They want action.
They crave action.
Yeah.
They want those plot twists. So Broadbent, she seems to be like taking her time to like build the tension and explore the characters' inner worlds.
Yeah.
Which might not appeal to everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And speaking of things that might not appeal to everyone.
Okay.
That cliffhanger.
Oh, the cliffhanger.
Talk about intent.
What's she doing?
Like, the reviewers are saying that she's not holding back.
No punches pulled.
No punches pulled.
Okay.
It's unexpected and emotionally devastating.
I feel like she's playing with our expectations.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and challenging this idea of finality in storytelling.
Totally.
You know, it's a risky move.
Yeah.
Especially for people who felt like certain storylines had reached a good conclusion in previous books.
Like some reviewers were really frustrated by the return of a character who played a big role in the Nightborn duet.
Right.
Because their arc seemed complete.
Yeah. It felt done.
So this is making people wonder, like, was this necessary?
Right.
What impact is this going to have?
Yeah, and it makes you think about, like, this tension that we always see in series or, like, interconnected worlds. How do you keep things fresh and unpredictable, but also respect the closure that readers felt with certain characters?
Okay, so let's move on to some of the more specific criticisms.
Oh, okay, let's get into it.
Some people felt that, like, Mische's spy mission to betray Asar felt underdeveloped.
Okay.
They wanted to see her, like, actively working towards that.
Right.
Like, graveling with the moral implications. And maybe even, like, questioning her loyalty to the sun god.
I think this is about agency. Like, readers want to see characters making choices.
Yes.
Even tough ones, but choices that align with their internal struggles and motivations. And when a character feels passive or like their actions seem out of character, it can really diminish the impact of the story.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, so another criticism was Elias and Chandra.
Okay, the secondary characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some reviewers found them
quite
pointless and distracting. Like, they didn't add anything to the story.
It's a good reminder that, like, every element in a story should serve a purpose. Whether it's a character or a subplot or even just a single scene.
Yeah.
If it doesn't contribute to the plot or the character development or the emotional arc, it risks feeling like filler.
Right.
And it can detract from the reading experience.
Okay, this one was interesting.
Okay, what is it?
Some reviewers were frustrated with Mische's lack of awareness regarding the abuse that she suffered from the sun god. They felt that her continued devotion, even after, like, being forced into this new life, was unrealistic and undermined the message of empowerment.
Right.
I mean, this is a complex issue.
It is. It really is.
It's hard to portray trauma and recovery authentically in fiction.
Yeah.
Because trauma...
It affects everyone differently.
It manifests so differently in everyone. There's no, like, one path to healing.
Right.
So Mische's continued devotion, while it might be frustrating to some readers, could be a realistic depiction of the effects of manipulation and that complex relationship between faith and trauma and identity. You know?
Totally.
It's messy.
Okay, so we talked about, like, the plot and the characters and the romance and the world building. The pacing. What about, like...
the writing itself.
The writing itself.
Okay.
Because some reviewers praised her lyrical prose.
Oh, yeah.
And her ability to, like, evoke these strong emotions.
Okay.
But others found it overly descriptive.
Oh, interesting. Especially in the Underworld scenes.
Right. It just goes to show that, like, experiencing art is so subjective.
It's so subjective.
What one person finds beautiful, another person finds tedious.
Yeah.
So it really just depends on...
personal preference.
Yeah, if the author's style resonates with you.
So one reviewer even compared Broadbent's writing to Sarah J. Maas.
Oh, wow.
And they felt like that Broadbent's world building and characters, they weren't as good.
They weren't as intricate.
Yeah, they weren't as intricate.
Okay.
And engaging as Maas's.
Right. I mean, these comparisons are inevitable.
They are. But, like, how much weight should we give them?
Yeah.
When we're, like, evaluating an author's work.
I think while those comparisons can be helpful for understanding an author's style or their target audience, It's important to remember that every writer brings something unique to the table.
Yes,
totally. If we're judging a book solely on its similarities or differences to another author's work, it can be a very narrow and unfair critique.
It's like saying you don't like apples.
Exactly.
Because you prefer oranges.
Yeah.
Like they're both fruit.
They're both fruit.
But they're different.
They're different.
They have different qualities.
Different flavors, different textures, appeal to different people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So even with all of the mixed reviews and the comparisons, there are some things that seem to like resonate universally.
Oh, I love that.
I know. Like even people who had criticisms couldn't help
but swoon
over Asar's big romantic gesture.
What did he do?
Okay, so apparently there's this scene where he plays the piano for her.
Oh, stop.
I know. And he says, I just played the notes that sounded like you.
Oh my God.
I know.
I'm melting. That's so good.
I know. And it's like these intimate moments that really pack the biggest punch.
The vulnerability. It's not always about the grand gestures. Sometimes it's those quiet moments of connection that really like capture
the heart of it.
The essence of a relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
But for some people, that wasn't enough to redeem the romance.
Okay.
They felt that the transition from indifference to passionate love was just too abrupt, like unearned.
Yeah.
And it left them questioning
the authenticity of their connection.
One reviewer said that they had more chemistry with a doormat than Mische and Asar. Which is harsh.
It's a little harsh.
But it highlights...
The point is there.
The point is there that we need that connection.
That strong emotional connection is so important. Even in a story, with all the action and the fantasy, if you don't believe in the relationship, it can like ruin the whole story. No matter how good the plot or the world building is.
And speaking of emotional turmoil.
Okay, here we go.
The book ends with Mische dying.
What? She dies at the end.
It's a cliffhanger.
Oh my God.
Talk about a cliffhanger.
Broadbent's not messing around.
No.
Wow.
So like obviously readers are going to be desperate to know how or even if she's going to survive.
Is she coming back?
And what this means for her and Asar.
What does this mean for the relationship?
Right. So before we move on, I'm just curious, like what is your overall impression of this book based on everything we've talked about?
Okay, so The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. It's polarizing.
It is.
Some people love it.
Yeah.
For the emotional depth and the themes. Other people have issues with the pacing and the execution. But the fact that people are talking about it tells me that Broadbent has done it again.
Yeah.
She's written a story that like
that resonates.
Resonates with people.
Yeah.
Even if
it's not all positive.
Even if it's not all positive.
Anyway, you know.
It's a book that demands to be discussed.
Yes.
It demands to be debated.
And that's what we're here for.
That's what we do.
That's what we do on the deep dive.
Yes.
So we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And when we come back, we're going to wrap things up.
Okay, sounds good.
With our final thoughts and some key takeaways.
Love it.
For anyone who's thinking about reading this book.
Here, see you in a bit.
Okay. So we are back. And before the break, we were talking about
all the reactions.
Yeah, all the reactions.
To The Songbird and the Heart of Stone.
And that crazy cliffhanger.
Oh my gosh, right.
And it just seems like it's definitely going to spark
a lot
of conversation.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing.
No, not at all.
Sometimes the best stories are the ones that get us talking.
They get people talking.
Yeah, and make us think.
And thinking.
And it's so interesting that like the things that are polarizing people are also what make it so compelling.
Right.
Like we talked about the pacing.
Yeah.
But some people, they felt like those slower moments were actually crucial for understanding Mische.
Yeah.
Like getting inside her head.
Right.
And like really feeling her pain.
And her struggle.
Yes.
It's the power of character-driven narratives.
Yes.
Like for some readers, that's the reward.
Yeah.
Seeing that emotional,
that transformation,
that psychological transformation, and those quieter moments.
Yeah.
They can be just as impactful
yes.
as the big action sequences.
Totally.
Especially in a story like this. Right, where we're dealing with loss and trauma.
Self-discovery.
And self-discovery.
And even the people who didn't love the romance, they still couldn't deny
the pull
of enemies to lovers.
It's a classic.
It's a classic.
And it works.
It works.
It's so good.
There's just something about watching two characters who initially clash.
Yeah, who butt heads.
Yes, and especially when there's like a power imbalance.
That power imbalance.
And they slowly start to
break down the walls.
And discover this
deeper connection.
I
mean, it's a trope for a reason.
It works.
It works.
It really does.
It's that forbidden love.
Yeah.
That possibility of redemption.
And healing.
In
these unexpected places.
Yeah, and it keeps you guessing.
Oh, for sure.
Are they going to make it?
Yeah.
Is it going to work out?
And don't forget about the forced proximity.
Oh, yeah. They're trapped together.
As
Underworld journey.
Yeah, with danger everywhere.
Literally danger around every corner.
Oh, my gosh.
Talk about heightened tension, emotional vulnerability.
And probably some steamy encounters.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So one reviewer said it was like a gender-swapped vampire version of April and Andy from Parks and Rec.
I love them.
Going on a field trip to hell.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Which is hilarious.
That's perfect.
But it also highlights how
there's still humor.
Even
in the darkness.
Yes.
Those little moments of levity.
Yeah.
They make it a more
well-rounded
experience.
And let's not forget.
Okay.
This is Carissa Broadbent.
Oh, yeah. We know it.
She's going to put us through it.
We're going to cry.
Yeah.
We're going to feel things.
She's not afraid.
She's going to break our hearts. And put them back together.
Yes, exactly. Maybe. So it sounds like this book is about
love,
loss, but
redemption. The power of hope.
Yes.
In the face of darkness.
It's about finding your own light.
Yes.
When everything seems dark.
Especially now.
In times like these.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a powerful message.
Yeah. It reminds us that we can choose hope. We can fight.
Fight for what you believe in.
Yeah. And we can make our own path.
Yeah.
Even when it's hard. So if you want a fantasy romance that's epic and intimate, that will make you laugh and cry, and question everything,
all the things,
then this might be the book for you.
But be prepared. Be prepared for the roller coaster.
And that cliffhanger. And the long wait.
Oh, the long wait for answers.
Until book 2. That's all for this week's deep dive.
Thanks for joining us.
Until
next time.
Keep exploring.
Keep questioning. And keep the conversation going.